Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? I apologize, my Leroy isn't the best, but the buttons may be a little bit louder. I'm using a controller that hasn't been broken in, so all the buttons sound like they're freaking just brand new and springy. But we get to see our one-eyed, one-foot girl, or one-leg girl and action just in the grand scheme of her detective skills or just her way of coming up with the conclusion to everything that's kind of popping off this whole scenario. But the messed up thing is we're not getting really any understanding of why it is this that the spirit is just in such a good position to be able to pop up and make him make just moves happen, right? So with her doing this and not only it happening but people giving the information out about what they believe happened to the detective, we really just get to see how fast and accurate the wiki can be at times. Not only at times, it really does make the ghost girl like stronger. So because of that, we're gonna probably be seeing even more uh, of a level, like just crazier strength coming out of her when it comes down to actually fighting our main guy, because he does have to figure out a way to deal with her some way, shape, or form when she like loses her power, I guess you can say. But even if that is the case, it's still gonna be a ridiculous fight for him, and he's talking about losing his life like over several times. So I'm not surprised he would even bring that up. It's kind of obvious just by how things are looking as a whole right now. So we'll see how that plays out with just how things are going. But like I was saying, there's this weird overall eerie feeling of when the end of the episode rolls around, when the detective girl, the ex-girlfriend, okay, buddy, she just keeps going for lows. I hate her. When the detective girl pretty much finds out she needs to do something, and even if she does something and the public hears about it, it probably won't be the one thing that's going to ease people's minds, and it's almost becoming something fabricated that needs to be made up to make this spirit weaker. So, as a police officer, it doesn't really look good on her resume, knowing everything that's going on, but at the same time, knowing just how society is and knowing how people would accept that being in a police report. Oh, yes, our detective was killed by a ghost wielding, you know, woman and it bashed in his head. But the thing that really didn't make any sense to people when they saw this is the fact that he was like a champion of just martial arts, like of karate or some sort. So for him to get his face bashed in and not to put up any type of struggle didn't make sense at all, because he would be able to defend himself very easily. Um, I mean, if it was a gunshot, it would be a different story, but it clearly wasn't, and they can tell how it looked. It wasn't a shot. So interesting enough, they are at questioning everybody in the cops, police station and stuff like that, just to see if they can get any understanding of who might be possible grudges or, anything like that, or, who has had contact with him at these times and may have known where he was, anything like that. It's getting quite juicy. But the weird part is the show itself is trying to contain everything we've seen between our girl, the main guy, and the detective, the ex, I should say. That this is all happening within like 2 days, one day, So it's kind of weird, but at the same time, it makes sense because ever since it's happened and they all met up, they've been pretty connected ever since. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense on how they're trying to solve it as quickly as they are, but it does make sense because of the malice this spirit is showing now, right? Because all of a sudden, it went from, being like, oh, maybe it's her to it is for sure her, and she's hunting down people. And because it came to like a hunting down basis, or like they're turning it into that, like, oh, if she finds you, she's gonna kill you. Imagine multiple people who can't, phase her being in the line of sight, and that's pretty much what our main girl was worried about, is that the next time this all happens, it's probably not going to be just one victim. It's going to be maybe a group of people if they're looking at the sites and going to places where she was at, getting caught up in it and whatnot. So I do like where this is going. I kind of feel like the story itself has been really focused on this whole thing and maybe might end almost close to just being this like arc, or maybe there's one more thing to come out of all this. But as a whole, the show definitely was kind of putting me to sleep this week. Like, it wasn't the best episode, and everything's been carrying over from previous stuff. So that's also kind of my reason why it was boring. It's just there's so much of this being drawn out to be a longer conclusion that it doesn't feel as I don't know, it doesn't feel as good to me. Or I just hope that at the end of it all, it feels warranted and it actually feels rewarding to stick around, instead of it just feeling like they're doing a whole lot of stuff just to keep us interested in this story because there's not too much more to come after it. So who knows? I'm trying to look at the positive side and try to enjoy this stuff. So I hope you all are having an amazing day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I am your boy, the Anime G, and I will be definitely looking forward to dropping more stuff and hearing from you guys whenever. So take care and peace. I'm dead. Let's see this special.